Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with another of these brand new Paleo Revived figures, and this time we are checking out another figure with articulation. This is the Moros intrepidus, and again, very cool species choice. This is one of the first times in this line that we did actually have a figure from this line in the Mattel line already, but this is a far better looking version of a Moros compared to what we did have in the Mattel line. And again, it's another one of those instances where it is a figure that I painted up, so the paint apps are based on the Jurassic World Dominion version to the best of my abilities, and I'm actually pretty happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks quite nice. So let's go, as always, and jump straight to a closer look at this, and we'll check it out from there. So, starting up here at the head sculpt of our Moros, you can see, of course, we've got an articulated jaw. You can already see me opening and closing it. It can go pretty wide, actually, and then close very nicely. You can also see that we do have lips for our Moros, which is really cool. And the skin texture looks quite nice on the face. It's very fine. You can see the nostrils right there. The eye socket area as well looks really good. And overall, again, it's nice to see the skin texture transition as we move further back into the face to the feathering, because that is what you see on the Moros in Jurassic World Dominion. And again, you could take a look at it from the front, or you could if my camera would focus on it. Not so much, kind of, but again, it looks really, really good. And then on the inside of the mouth, you can see the teeth are all sculpted out in there, or my camera would let you. There you go. You can see the teeth sculpted out in there. Same deal for the teeth on the inside of the mouth on the upper jaw. You can see the tongue right there is sticking up on the inside of the mouth as well. You can kind of see it there. You can definitely see it right there, how it's sticking up on the inside of the mouth. Looks very nice. Again, as I said, the jaw works really nicely. As you come up here into the back, you start to see the feathering pick up, and we have that same style of feathering on this, just like we do in Jurassic World Dominion, again, with that kind of sort of scruffy feathering that you see on that dinosaur. We continue to see that as you move down through the course of the body. Obviously, it starts to pick up in size a little bit as you lead down into the body itself. You can kind of make out the shoulder blade right there. As you lead down into the arms, you've got some nicely sculpted arms, nicely sculpted fingers as well, and the nails as well look really good considering how small they are. They actually are nicely sculpted. Again, those are some pretty tiny arms. You can see there with the arm resting on my fingertip. It's definitely not a large figure, but being a Moros intrepidus, you certainly wouldn't expect it to be a large figure. As you move along the back, you can continue to see the spinal column right there. As you lead down into the legs, you can see the muscle definition. We continue to have feathering leading down into the legs, obviously leading down into the thigh before it starts, the calf before it starts to taper away. You can see the knee right there in the front of the leg, as well as the nice calf muscle. And when you move down into the foot sculpt looks great. It has a very, very bird-like foot sculpt to it, which I really do enjoy. Definitely like the bird-like aspect to that foot sculpt. And we do have dew claws, which you can see over there. And again, everything looks really good as you move down. But you do also have, on top of the jaw articulation, you have leg articulation, which you can see just goes forward and back pretty much, and it works really nicely, actually really smoothly as you maneuver those legs around. And then you lead out into the tail, and the tail is pretty much straight out, very similar, very reminiscent to what we have seen with the Paleo Revived line almost the entire way through, where the figures are almost in like that kind of classic neutral positioning, almost walking with dinosaurs style. And it makes sense, especially considering figures like this, you have articulation. You wouldn't want to have a figure really with articulation, I think, like this at the very least, with leg articulation and stuff, if the head was turned and stuff. So the neutral positioning makes complete sense to me, and I also really like it because, again, it very much so reminds me of those classic walking with dinosaurs figures. You can see the detail on the underside also looks really nice. You have the feathering the entire way through, and again, you're going to see pretty much the same thing over here. No real big differences from side to side, especially when it comes to a figure like this that is, again, an articulated figure. You're really not going to see much of anything when it comes to a difference on one side to the other, but it's definitely a gorgeous version of the Moros intrepidus. Another nice thing about this figure, as you can see, it does stand very nicely, so the balance has been worked out quite beautifully. As far as a size goes, lengthwise, you're looking at about 5¼ inches, or a little over 13 centimeters, in between 13 and 13.5 centimeters. And then height-wise, of course, for the position it's currently in, you could alter it by having it stand up taller, but you are at about 2¼ inches, or around just under 6 centimeters. For a size comparison, We have Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A human being next to our Moros intrepidus. And you can see it is definitely quite small, like you would expect it to be, again, for this species. I feel like it's a very nicely sized version, actually. So for another comparison to further give you an idea of the size, there is a Mattel Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus to stand in here as well, again giving you an idea of the fact that that Moros is quite a bit smaller. We've also got a size comparison here next to a Captives and Mattel minifigure, so you can very clearly see the Moros is just a bit larger than you would see for your standard minifigure. And then when it comes to a Paleo Revived comparison, we have the Spinoceratops here next to our Moros as well. And then one final comparison, we also have the Paleo Revived Ornithomimus next to our Moros intrepidus, just to give you an idea, one more size comparison next to another Paleo Revived figure. So this brand new Dino Mike Mac Paleo Revived Moros intrepidus is definitely a really fun figure, and honestly, I would say it's probably my favorite right now from the line as a whole. There's just something that I really like about this one. It sports those perfect bird-like features, but also very much so represents the dinosaur that it's meant to represent, and at the same time still having that strong kind of Jurassic World Dominion sort of a look to it. So like it's a nice combination of everything with this one. And as per usual, when it comes to these Paleo Revived figures, it does sport some very nice fine detail throughout. And again, the fact that it is a figure like this that comes to you unpainted, that also increases the fun, I think, of this figure, because I always enjoy painting dinosaurs, so being able to give the dinosaur its very own paint job in my own personal preference and coming up with an idea for the paint is always so fun. Another thing that's really fun is when you actually do order the Moros, you can get 2 of them for $10, so just like with the Spinoceratops, again, the same price point as you get for the Spinoceratops, you can get 2 of the Moros in your collection. And on top of that, this is one of the figures in the line that does sport articulation, making it fun to kind of pose it and display it and giving you just more possibilities as far as displaying the figure. So if you are interested in ordering one of these, just like with all of the others, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that, again, through Dino Mike Mac. So make sure you check those links. Go grab this awesome Moros intrepidus and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.